afternoon, everyone, as we welcome you to Quad Radio Live on a special Thursday afternoon broadcast. It's just past noon Eastern Time here in Quad Radio USA as we come to you from the studios of Quad Radio. And Barry Hawk is going to be joining us here in just a couple moments. Got possibly some historical news that may be ready to change the GNCC history books. We're going to have a lot of fun with that, and not only a lot of fun with that, but the historical importance of that. It actually is a pretty neat little thing. We found some things out that might actually sure up a tie between Bill Balance and Barry Hawk with the all-time wins record, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. First, I want to say a special and huge thanks to our friends at, of course, Impact Solutions, ATV.com. Impact Solutions, your factory authorized service center for Elko suspension at 985 Harris Highway in Parkersburg, West Virginia. You can call them up 305, I believe that's 863-90035. You can find the actual link right there on the Quad Radio website as we say thanks to those folks. Also, a shout out to Ian and the folks at SSI Decals for all the stickers and so forth that we get here at Quad Radio. And as we get set to go live, we say good afternoon and welcome to one Barry Hawk. Barry, how's things going, buddy?
Well, it's going pretty good. Beautiful day here in Pennsylvania, so things are going smooth.
All right, so you are working there in Pennsylvania, and are you working, or what's going on, I guess, is the big question right now.
Well, actually, I was in High Point, and that's Verizon has no service there, so I came out, get some lunch out here along the interstate and get some service and give you a call here for the Quad Radio. So we're just actually in High Point. We're having the Vet National this weekend on Saturday, then Sunday we're having a hare scramble at the historic High Point. So it's been, I think, 10 years since there's been a cross-country there, so I've been out there in the woods this morning and looking for some trails, and they logged it, well, let's see, if we raced 10 years ago, they must have logged it about 9 years ago, so there's quite a few new options, or quite a few things that I've got to go around there to make the track, but it's always fun doing that.
Wow, that sounds pretty neat, Barry, and that's you're right, man. That is a pretty historical thing that you got going on there with the cross country in combination with the Vet National. Let's talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the big news. The Vet National again Saturday. That's for riders basically 25 years of age and older, and they're going to break that all up into different things. We should probably see a lot of the old district names and maybe some of the old national names coming out to slice out there, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I know I've done it quite a few years. Back when I was racing all the time, I always looked forward to doing it because, you've got to be 25 years and older and to race. And it, for me, it was just something, I knew that Racer Productions put it on, so it's going to be an off weekend for GNCC. So, and they usually get a little bit longer motos, I guess you could say, instead of, if you're there for like the national weekend, there are so many people there. They got to run through everything fairly quick to get everybody in. But with the Vet National, they don't get 700-800 people there. It's a little bit smaller crowd, a little bit more laid back, and get a little more track time than usual on the moto track. So I always had a blast doing it. And I know the other day Jimmy Jarrett, we were texting back and forth, and I think he may show up. So
wow.
I think he done it a couple years ago. I remember Freddie Andrews and Barry Corsten, the first year I went to it, which, it had to be 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that. And I remember Freddie and Barry Corsten, they were really, really going back and forth in the plus, I would have raced the plus 25 class back then, and I think they were in the plus 30, plus 35 class. And it was really good battle watching them guys. And there's nothing other than kind of bragging rights. There's really not a lot on the line. I mean, there may be some contingency for some manufacturers. I'm not even sure about that. But like I said, it's a laid-back atmosphere, and everybody's there to have fun and get a lot of track time. So it should be good. Yeah, and also, I need to mention, that's Saturday. On Sunday, it's not vet classes on Sunday. Yeah, you can race a vet class for the hare scramble, but You don't have to be 25 years old to race on Sunday.
Now, they're going to have just bikes, or they're going to have ATVs as well?
There's ATVs as well. Actually, I believe I need to look at the exact schedule because I'm not 100% sure on it, but I believe we have Pee-wee bikes first thing in the morning, and then we go into youth ATVs, and then youth bikes, and then we have the adult bikes, and I'm not sure on the times, and then after the adult bikes is the adult quads. So everybody pretty much is bike quads. It don't matter your age or whatever. If you want to come race to Harris Scramble on Sunday.
Wow. That sounds like a big weekend and a lot of fun. Now, as far as the Saturday Vet National, will there be any support classes along with that as far as other bikes like 80s and 60s, maybe guys bringing their sons and stuff?
I think there is. Last year when I done it, I'm pretty sure I done it last year. It was either last year or 2010 when I done it. And I know there were support classes then, and I don't want to tell you what class it was or anything like that, but I do know that there were support classes back then, and there probably is again this year. That way, if you're dad's big day to race, I guess, and if the boy wants to come out and do some riding, there's also support classes. Like I said, I'm 99% sure, and maybe we can do some checking later this afternoon and maybe confirm that on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. And if folks want to follow you on Twitter, what is it, Barry?
Oh man! You put me in the bond, Rodney.
What is that?
I think it's at B-Hawk. At B-Hawk or at B-Hawk8 is probably my Twitter name.
Yeah, at B-Hawk8, I believe, is what it is. So,
okay.
Well, there you go, man. I put you on the spot, didn't I?
Yeah, I can tell you about a race 20 years ago, but I can't tell you my Twitter name.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, you talk about racing, you're going to remember that, there's no doubt, but the modern technology you're not so remembering of. But that's cool. That's what this whole special update is. I know that we've been off on Quad Radio for the last couple of weeks, have had some things going on, and not been able to go live for the last couple of weeks, but I thought, man, whenever you got a hold of me last night, I was in a situation where I wish that I could have gotten Quad Radio up and running right at 9 o'clock, because you texted me, and I think it was like at 8:59, and said you got big news. And I was like, what in the world are we talking about here, man?
Yeah, it was, I guess if we back up a little bit, and you can confirm this for me, a few years ago, I think Carrie Jo wanted to kind of have the historical side of GNCC, who had the most race wins from quads to bikes, and who had the most race wins overall, and break it down year by year and event by event. And I believe you had done that, and you made the announcement at the banquet a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Bill Ballance had the all-time win record was 68, and I believe I was at 67.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you told me, I think it was that night, you said something about there was a race in Ohio and no one had any results. And I'm just thinking, well, that night it didn't matter. Hey, Bill had the record. I'd like to beat him or race the time. Anyhow, I never gave it much more thought about it until actually I was in Unadilla. And somebody said something about the link on a GNCC site about the past champions and how it's broke down race by race, and I guess it's up. Well, I know it's up on the GNCC site now. So anyhow, Unadilla, work all day. At night, I kind of sit down and I was looking at it, and I'm going through year by year, looking at who won what race, and I get to 1996. Go to Lisbon, Ohio. It says no results available, and I thought that's the race Rodney was talking about. So I got thinking, wow, man, I need to find this out to see who won the race. Either 96 or the results clear back to 83. Why is there nothing for 96? And I still can't answer that. But anyhow, we got through the Unadilla race, done everything down. When I got home, we worked Monday, drove Monday night, got home like Tuesday at 4 o'clock in the morning. When I got up Tuesday at 9:30, I start looking at photos. And my wife's like, what are you looking for? I said, I need to find a race that I think I won, and I explained to her about the record books. And so she started looking with me. She didn't know which race she was looking for. I kind of had an idea. So anyhow, I finally looked at the picture that I was thinking of. It's with me on the podium. I have an overall trophy. So I called Jeff Russell. I said, Jeff, I said, the Little Beaver race is the one there's no results for, I believe. I said it was in Lisbon, Ohio. He said, no. He said, Lisbon is different than the Little Beaver. And I'm like, no, he threw me for a loop. So the race that I was thinking I won was in the picture that I had wasn't the one. So I'm like, crap. And then I thought, okay, well, that puts me back to square one. I look at my overall trophies I have nothing for Spring Valley, Lisbon, Ohio in 1996. I have nothing for it. So I called my mom. I said, Mom, can you look at, see if you have this overall trophy for 96 Lisbon? She calls me back, nope, I don't have it. I said, okay, well, maybe I didn't win. I said, well, let me call Tony Kellner, which was my ATV mechanic, and I'll text my dad. So anyhow, this was yesterday morning. I text my dad, I called Tony. Anyhow, Tony and I played phone tag back and forth. Well, my dad texted me, yeah, I have some of your overall trophies. So last night at probably 9 or 8:50, I texted him, did you ever find it? He sends me a picture that says Lisbon, 1996, and it's a trophy, but it doesn't say the position. So I text him back right away. I'm like, I need to have confirmation if it says first, second, third, overall, whatever. He sends me a picture right away, good on my phone, that says overall, first place overall, Lisbon, Ohio, 1996. So that was the race where there was no results for, and my dad has the trophy that I won. So I got, by the way, that was...
It's up right now, by the way. For those of you that are listening or watching in, you can look at your screen right now, and you can see I've got both the photos that were text there, so they're up on for you to view right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So and it's not, I guess if anybody's, paying attention now and is familiar with your trophies today, it's the eagle. I make fun of guys that tell them actually it's a hawk, but it's an eagle. So the overall trophy back then was quite a bit different than what they are now, but that is the missing race where there was no results. My dad has the overall trophy. I don't know who got second, third, on back, how many people were there. We have no other information on that at this time other than I won that race. So that makes Bill Bauer and myself tied at 68 instead of instead of him having 68, we have 67. So it doesn't change history, but I guess it does change. We have to put a little amendment or whatever you want to call it in the history books, or go back and say, hey, we're tied now. So it's kind of, because Bill, we get along, we're good friends and everything, but that's one of the things where he's never really said, I got more than you or anything like that. But now I can get to him and say, yeah, well, you're not in front of me anymore, so we can kind of pick on each other a little bit. But it's definitely, it's kind of puts me in a good mood anyhow.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. That's pretty wild. I bet Carrie Joe's like, no, Barry, why are you saying that?
Probably, no. Yeah. Actually, no. I sent a picture after I sent it to you last night. I sent it to Jeff Russell and I sent it to Carrie Joe. And this morning at High Point, I asked Jeff, I said, you never replied to my picture. And he said, Trevor did an update on my phone, and he said it's kind of still messed up or something. So he didn't even know that he had the thing, but Carrie Jo never replied to it. So I'll have to give her a call and ask her why she didn't reply to it or see what she has to say about it. But, it's not like I'm changing anything. It's a fact. So we got proof of it. So.
But like you say, man, what the cool thing about it is, man, now you've really got something that you can build balance about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I like to give them a hard time. I think a lot of people, I guess maybe I'm in the same position. It doesn't seem like nobody. It seems like they ever gives Bill a hard time or kind of not really picks on him, but just, nudges him a little bit or whatever. I do, and I'm definitely going to do it about this. So it's definitely fun.
For sure. That is wild. Now, do you remember anything about this particular race by any chance?
I even went as far before whenever Jeff busted my bubble and told me that the Little Beaver wasn't the Spring Valley / Lisbon race. Whenever all that went down, I had went to the computer and I went to Google and I typed in 1996 Lisbon GNCC, and there was actually there's a YouTube video of it. It's of the bikes, but back then I was racing the bikes also, which I didn't see myself on the bike on race day on the bikes, but even watching the track on bike day, it didn't ring any bell to me. I don't remember any of it on bike day, which a lot of it was shot kind of like the bike pro pits, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, we probably didn't run some of the stuff that was on the video, but I don't know why it's not ringing a bell. I'm sure if there's probably like a certain section or something. If I saw it right away, everything would start coming back. But what I'd seen on the YouTube video, nothing rang a bell, and I can't remember anything about it. So that's even funny because when we were driving home late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, it was Jeff Russell and myself, and I asked him a couple things about racing or about tracks, and he said, it's funny. He said, I don't even remember much about certain races or, back when I was racing. And I could see him sitting there thinking, like, I should remember this stuff. And then I was just thinking, we should remember that stuff. But then the next day, I'm in the same position. This specific race we're talking about, I can't remember anything about it, but yet I won it. And I'm like in the same position he was. And someone placed in there saying, how can you not remember winning an overall or something about a track? And I honestly don't. But, if I had one win or two wins, I'm sure 2 wins, it'd be easy to remember. But,
yeah.
It's, the race the quad and winning, and then going on the bike and winning, it's just, there's a few wins in there and a lot of racetracks I've been to, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really wild. I did some research on it as well. I found a photo of Lisbon, Ohio, GNCC of Barry Hawk, but it was from 1998 on the ATV Scene website. Actually, believe it or not, that was about the only thing that I could find on it. So I thought that was pretty neat. I got the picture up right now if anybody's watching. You can check that out. But the young Barry Hawk.
Yeah, back when I had hair.
Yeah, back when you had hair.
A little bit of hair.
And you had a mullet, too.
Oh, yeah, the mullet. If I could, I'd bring the mullet back now, but unfortunately I can't. I can't. It won't grow right for me now.
You'd have a skullet now, Barry.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I was doing some searches there on Google and stuff, and I did some image searches in Barry Hawk, and there was one popped up that has you and Bill Balance. You've got, it looks like Talon on the back of your in a backpack, and he's got one of his daughters that looks to be just a little bit younger than maybe Talon is there. So is that how close in age are those two babes?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think. I don't know if you'd be, let's see, my daughter's 13 and Talon just turned 7. But I'm thinking Bill's oldest daughter is probably 11 or 12. His youngest daughter, I thought, was older than Talon. I thought she would be about 8 or 9. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look at that picture.
Now let me ask you this. I know you see where I'm going with this. Do you see a uniting of the empires?
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that out for fun, but
Yeah.
Barry Hawk is actually speechless. I've never seen Barry Hawk speechless, that's for sure.
Actually, I hate to admit this, but I don't know exactly what you said that was so funny. I was just kind of going with the flow there. What did you say?
Oh, the whole thing between you and, well, your kids maybe getting together and you guys having...
yeah, I got you. Yeah, Talon, he was one of the Balance girls. Yeah. Wow. Now that would be, that'd be, phew.
You see, I told you.
Even when you
know it, you don't have anything to say.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I am speechless on that one. Wow.
Well, I'm sorry. I had to have a little bit of fun with that anyway.
Oh, yeah. Not yet, for sure.
Well, Barry, real quick, I know you got to get back to work and everything, get that course laid out. But I just want to, since we're on here and we're talking about GNCC, maybe we, as far as this whole history thing, maybe we can get a little asterisk or something put in there. But even if we don't, like you say, it's going to be a lot of fun and ribbon with Bill Balance, to say the least. And I can't wait to see what he has to say about it. But anyway, let's talk about, man, what about this past weekend at Unadilla? That was a woo!
Wow. Yeah, it was. That was, the biggest turnout we've ever had, and it was quite interesting when they have that many guys, and actually, to actually have all the races go off pretty smooth. No one went the wrong way, and no big issues or anything like that. I mean, that's, I guess, a pat on the back to everybody that helped work on the track. I mean, you've been in that position before, Rodney. I mean, everyone from you to clear on down to the guys out there cutting the trees and putting up here. I mean, there was a lot of work involved. So it was a good weekend, good fun weekend. We had good weather all weekend, and we really couldn't ask for much better weather than what we had. We got some rain on Friday, I believe it was, and Friday night it would have been. And I was starting to get a little nervous, thinking, the track's going to get pretty ugly. But I think even for the youth ATVs when they took off in the morning, I mean, it was probably a little slippery the first lap, but overall, it was just, everything worked out really good. So I was pretty happy about it. It's pretty stressful on me, back that I may have said this before, but when I was racing, 20 years or whatever it is professionally, I pretty much had to worry about myself the whole time, and now I have to worry about everybody that's going on the track. If something goes wrong, I could be the one responsible for it. So it's pretty nerve-wracking at times, but things went smooth, and hopefully they continue to go smooth. I mean, there's going to be an issue pop up here or there probably, but just trying to keep those little issues to a minimum and keep everybody happy and keep everybody enjoying the tracks.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't hear any complaints about the track. Even with the amount of riders on it, I think everybody was pretty. Now the afternoon bike guys, I know this is a quad show, but I mean, we got the afternoon bike guys. They might have a little bit different opinion if they went through that railroad section down there.
Yeah, I was texting Jeff Pickens. I guess it would have been Friday maybe or something, and anyhow, he was questioning about, because with the bike guys, they went through roller tracks, and they had to go through some mud and then into go along the edge of the river. And then a lot of the quad guys, I think, were questioning if they were going to do it because it was air road. Where the quads went and where the bikes were going were kind of side by side. And I could see you, questioning, well, maybe the 1 o'clock quads are going to go down the river. So anyhow, Jeff Pickens texted me, and so did Mike Soroka. They texted me, are we going down the river? I texted him back, no, unless you're racing 1 o'clock bike race. So then Pickens texted me back, and he said, the bike guys always get the fresh new stuff. And I started thinking, well, I thought, the bike guys, the 1 o'clock bike guys do have more than the quads. But then I started thinking, could I take the quads down that section? Could I do it? And then I started thinking, I drove my utility quad through there, so those guys can get through it. But then I thought, some of that mud is going to get pretty bad. And, if the bikes are going to dig down the quads, and then they got to go down the river, and then when they come out of the river, the quads carry way more water than with the skid plates or the belly pins. They carry water a lot further than a bike does. So generally, when the quads go through water, it makes that exit of the water section is a lot longer and it's a lot nastier for the quads. So then, anyhow, I thought, if we've done that, I don't think the bank of the river is going to hold up if we run the quads there. Because I seriously, after Pickens texted me that, I seriously thought, well, maybe we could put them on there. But then I thought, no, I better not do that because I don't think it'll hold up. So anyhow, the quad guys didn't get to do that section, and the bike guys did, and it barely lasted the whole bike race. So if the quads would have done it, I don't think it would have lasted half of the quad race. Right. And I would have had to take it out, there would have been guys, you know, it would have been like a big fiasco. Well, you know, we did a 2-F, but another 2-F we did, they shouldn't put stuff like that in. And so it was kind of a call on my part. I made a call, a decision, and I seriously thought about giving it to the quad guys, and I didn't do it. And looking back on it now, I'm really glad I didn't, because we would have had to reroute the course for them.
Yeah,
so,
I'd say that they're probably pretty happy you didn't, too, now that they've seen the outcome on that.
yeah. If they would have seen any of the guys were there, or if they've seen some pictures, I mean, Jason Thomas, at least first or second or third in the XC2 points, and he was leading, and he ended up getting stuck so bad in there that he was, he was done.
Wow. Yeah, I heard about that one.
No. So, but I'm sorry, I had somebody walk up here asking me some questions.
Okay.
But,
I'm sure you probably
got to... Go ahead.
I was going to say you probably have to get back to work, but I know, and again, I relate this back to this being an ATV race, but since it has a lot of ATV roots in it with Chad Duvall and Thad Duvall, his big win this past weekend on the bike side of things, you kind of helped groom him as a young man as well, man. So I guess that was pretty exciting for you to see Thad take that win this weekend, huh?
Yeah, it was. You know, I mean, in the position I am now, I can't really go out there and do too much or cheer for the guys. I mean, I do cheer for all the guys. You know, when they go by, I'm yelling, you know, go, go, go most of the time. And, you know, when Thad come by on the last lap, you know, it was like I wanted to get out there and, you know, tell him or put something on the pit board, which I didn't do and I couldn't do. But when it was over, I had to tow Garrett Edmonston broke down, so I towed him in, and the first thing I did, they just got up on the podium, and I went up to Thad, and I shook his hand, and I said, congratulations, and he had a smile from ear to ear, and I told him, I said, it's about time, and he looked at me and said, I know, and then I shook Chad's hand, and I told him, Chad and I have been friends forever, and I told him, I said, man, congratulations, I said, it felt good, and he kind of shook his head, and I said, man, it's been a long time coming. I said, I'm glad you guys won. And he kind of shook his head again. He really didn't say much, and I think he was almost about getting choked up. So, but that's kind of, he did make the quad, but, you know, he's kind of been on the bike. He's kind of been my shadow or followed me for a long time, kind of in my footsteps. And, you know, to see him finally get a win, I mean, it's everybody is kind of the thing, you know, everybody's like, man, Thad, can't believe Thad hasn't won. He's got as much talent as anyone out there, but he hasn't won. He's never put it together, and finally he did. So, you know, my hat's off to him, and he put himself in position. He may have been the fastest rider at certain points, and don't get me wrong, when I seen him, he was going fast, but there were some parts of the track where I saw some of the other guys going faster, but it doesn't matter who's fastest in certain parts of the track. It comes down to the end of the day who makes the least amount of mistakes and puts themselves in position to get a win, and that's exactly what he does. And so,
wow, what better time for him going to his first ISDE ever as well, man? That's a good confidence boost going in there for him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the ISDE could suit Thad's riding style really good because he does a lot of moto practice, and the ISDE, which for the quad guys they probably maybe not too familiar with, but you may ride up to 150 miles a day, but you're not racing that 150 miles. You may ride a race actually in different sections of the course. You may race a total of 30 miles a day, but the transfer sections is where you get your mileage, and you got to be on time, and if you're not on time, you get docked points. So basically, at the end, when it's all said and done, whoever has the least amount of points would win the event. And I think the way that the ISD is set up, you know, suits Thad's riding style where he can pin it for 3, 4, 5 miles and then get to the end of the test, and then you take your time and cruise to the next one and all that. But, you know, hopefully he'll do good. I know I went to the ISDE in 2003 in Brazil, and that's the year the GNCC put together a team, kind of the, I don't know if they call it the dream team. It was kind of like the GNCC team or whatever. And, you know, that was the year I won a championship, and we got over there, and I could see all the Europeans, they were looking at me, you know, pointing, you know, I forgot I won a championship. And, you know, I was really excited to do it. And the first test of the first day of the event, my bike blew up. And once you have bike problems, if it's a minor problem, you can fix it. But it's something like mine, the engine, you can swap engines, but you can do whatever you want. But when you're out of it, you're out of it. You can't re-enter the race.
Wow.
So the first step, fly all the way to Brazil, put all this time and effort into it, and the first test of the first day, then that puts me, I'm a spectator the rest of the time. So, hopefully that doesn't happen to Thad. Hopefully all the Americans go there and have, things go well for them.
That's for sure. Well, Barry, get back to work, man. Get that trail made for this weekend up at High Point. Again, reminding, I know we've had a lot of viewers in and out this afternoon, but we got the Bet National Motocross two-wheel race coming up this weekend, and also a cross-country or hare scramble right there at High Point, the first time in like a decade.
Yep, first time in a decade. Doesn't matter if I know it was 2002. It was the fall of 2002. It was our last UNCC there, and I won it on the bike.
Wow. Amazing.
So, yep. It's it may be 10 years to the day, maybe. Since we raced there.
That'd be pretty interesting. We'll have to go back and look at some history on that. One quick question.
Yeah.
Do you, just out of trivia, man, do you remember, and I'm looking at some results right here, but I finally found your first date race, where it was at, what day it happened, and where it happened at. Do you remember that?
I do. It was 1991 then it was called the Burr Oaks, which is now the John Fenton.
Mm-hmm.
Was my first overall win. And I want to say it was like June 18th or something.
Wow, you are way off. September 7th.
Okay.
Not way off, but
hey, I was right on the year.
Oh yeah, you were right. You were right about everything. I had to get you there for a second.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah, when you said the wow, I thought I got it.
September 7th was the day, Millfield, Ohio. That's pretty cool, man. Well, that's a very historical day. The first of, now we know, 68 wins for one Barry Hawk.
68, yep. And I don't think I'm ever going to get another one because I still have really any desire to go out there and race. But Bill, I'm not even sure how old Bill is. He's 32, 34, something like that.
Well, I can say one thing. Right now, that just inspired him to go out and get at least one more win.
I know. I did hear some rumblings earlier in the year, Bill may come back, but, I'm sure people probably say that about me. I'm going to come back on the quad or come back on the bike, but, it'd be, for me, I honestly, I have no desire. Yeah, I would like to race this race here at High Point on Sunday. It won't happen, but, just because it's High Point, and it was always my favorite track. So, I'd like to do it just because it's been so long since we've had a race there. But to go out and lay it on the line week in, week out at the GNCC, I've done my part with that and enjoying it. But I'm not ever going back to the daily grind of laying it all on the line.
Well, all I can say is never say never, Barry. You never know what might happen, brother.
This is true. I said, one day in the future I could do it, but it's not going to be this year. That's a fact.
I might hit the lottery one of these days and say, Barry Hawk, I want you to race an ATV one more year, and here you write the numbers in the check.
Yep. Hey, money talks, and I could do it. Actually, I do get the itch. When I do have the itch to race, if I could pick something to go race, I would race a quad. If anything, I've got a little bit more of an itch to race a quad than a bike, but it's for fun.
Barry, I love you.
I guess I do. I have raced a bike at a local 3 times this year because it was the bike. I got a KTM 350. It's sitting there in the garage, and I went racing. If I had a quad sitting there ready to go and a bike sitting there ready to go, I would pick to race the quad.
Somebody get this man a quads, all I got to say, man. Bring it to High Point this weekend. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody will bring it to, what's your quad? Then I'll be like, I'd like to do it, but I need to stay out here and make sure the race goes smooth and make some changes. So that'd put me in a really tough position. I'd want to go race the quad, but I think it'd be one of the things I'd go race it, and then I'd kind of be out of my system for a couple months, and, I'd be...
Then we'd see you at the Ironman.
Yeah, sure, with the Ironman. I think Jeff did that one year. Didn't Jeff Russell race the Ironman for the quad?
I think he did, actually, yeah.
I know he raced the quad, and I'm pretty sure it was at the Ironman one time. And then, it's funny, I hear every once in a while really make a comment about it, about the quads, or about, since I've raced the quad, he kind of has a little different outlook on them and things, so.
That's why.
I mean, it's always good, the guys that are out there working on the track and setting stuff up, it's good for Jeff to go do that.
Yep.
So, kind of give a little bit different, okay, well, this is no fun, so we don't need to do that on the quad much anymore. And I've had quite a few of the UTV guys at the GNCC telling me, hey, you need to go race a UTV race or pre-ride it on a UTV. And I told them, I said, I would love to do that. One, I would like to pre-ride it on a UTV, but it usually comes down to one of the things, I don't have enough time to go do it, because, we're getting ready for the news. If I did it, it would have to be on a Friday, and usually it's just, Friday's like, that's crunch time, everything has to be set up perfect.
Yeah, and then you run over somebody.
yeah, exactly. And then that leads up to Saturday for the event, and, somebody would probably say, hey, yeah, you can ride with me, but that's not happening either. I'm not sitting in the passenger seat unless it's sitting still. If somebody's racing, I'm going to be driving. I'm not going to be in the passenger seat because I'm not in control. So.
Well, we'll set the challenge out right here, right now, then, B-Hawk. Somebody get you a quad, somebody get you a UTV that you can drive, and we'll get you out there, all right?
Yeah. Let's say somebody come through, and then I'll be like, I don't know. Doing a little too much talking that day or something.
Or I was talking too much for you.
Yeah.
I like to do that. But anyway, Barry, it's been a blast, man. Get to work, get that track set up, and I look forward. I'll be over there this weekend, so I'll be checking things out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I love the asterisks in history that we now have in GNCC. This will be pretty interesting, and if nothing else, like we say, a lot of good bench fodder. Yep,
definitely. I'm pretty happy about it, and I'm proud of it. That's for sure. To be tied with them, I guess. It's good. I'm content with it.
Well, good. I don't blame you a bit. It's a good thing to be proud of. Barry, I will talk to you soon, and
okay.
And like we say, go get that track mate laid out. That is
Hey, Rodney, one last thing is, again, I'm going to, as soon as we hang up, I want to call Jen and have her tweet the times or send them to me the times or some information about this weekend, so if anybody's listening, I will retweet it here whenever I get the information. I'll retweet it for people if they're interested in coming out and checking the race out this weekend.
All right, sounds good. That's at BHawk8 on Twitter if you're a Twitterer, and that is the great, the legendary, and one of the, if not the greatest off-road racer of all time, Barry Hawk. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio Live.